It's evil. It's against me. The universe is against me.
Hey Studio Pals, welcome back to the channel. It's called a Franklin three-wheeler. No, not that kind of three-wheeler, this kind of three-wheeler. Benjamin Franklin developed all sorts of things and invented all sorts of things. This clock is given his name because he developed a way for one hand to do all sorts of different things in a spiral. This clock doesn't look like that, but it's still basically a three-wheeled clock, as they say. There are many parts to this project. It is a laser cut file. Well, it is an SVG file, which can be a laser cut file. And I got it from Woodlight IE off of Etsy. This builder has several different clocks, and these plans are actually quite affordable. And I wanted to build a clock because I hadn't done that yet. I used to have a wooden clock as a child. This is a weight-driven clock with a pendulum. It has a sweep, second hand, and minute and hour hand, so it's a fairly standard clock. And it utilizes more parts than just wood. Obviously, there is a 1/8 of an inch steel rod that you need to purchase and cut into little bitty sections. And then there is also brass tubing that you have to buy, 4mm brass tubing, in order to insert said rod into certain areas of the clock, and then some little washers that are necessary so that the wood doesn't bind itself. So yeah, I changed a few things. Yeah, I actually changed the plans from 6mm. They're actually calling for 6mm basswood and or plywood. And since I have so much Revolution ply that I build my boxes and things out of, it's actually 4.8mm. So I changed all the keys in the file to 4.8. So this won't just be a build and how complicated the build is. This will be a did I get it right build. So that there are lots of gears and lots of pieces that have to go together. So I'm going to take you on this journey with me building this clock. This will be a two-part episode because I doubt I can get this clock done before it's time for me to post on YouTube. So yeah, stay tuned for the ride and we'll see if we can't get this clock working.
The clock. Now, I have done some pretty complex pieces, and hi Freya. I've done some pretty complex pieces before. The coffin, for one, I think is my most complex piece, but this one obviously takes the cake. There are multiples of these gears that all have to be glued in a specific way. There are two primary frames. I believe this goes on top of that, like so. It'll be about that far away. And yeah.
along with the SVG file that you get plans. Now, I printed all these out, and they are double-sided. There's a lot. Here's our parts list. And it's not just parts. It's basically what each one of these are and what each one of these are. Here are the 8mm arbors, as they call them. It's basically the axles that the wheels go on. There's lots of little pieces of them, and there's several of these brass pieces. Well, there's 2. I know there's 3. Yeah, there's 3. And I've got all of these parts separated because this is the first thing we're going to build, and that's basically the clutch that the rope wraps around, that the weight attaches to, and it's the first wheel that we're going to be building. It is literally called the drive assembly, and this is how it goes together. It's fairly simple. We're going to be using glue, and not just glue, but where we can, I will use cyanoacrylate, aka super glue with accelerator, on some of the areas, and by suggestion of the owner of Woodlight IE, you should use 5-minute epoxy. Now, the reason for that is once you get these arbors in place with some of these collars in there, there's going to be a wobble, and what you'll want to do is put this on a vise and move the gears while the glue is drying so that there will be no wobble when you spin it, and then just let it set up. I've got the brass collar tubing in this little vise, lightly clamped, and we take these pieces and we have to kind of bore them out so that they will fit, because they all have to go together. Like that. It's quite a tight fit. But eventually they'll all fit together. And I've done that to every one of these so far. So they all fit nicely in place now. Just like that. Because these go over that shaft, which gets attached to him. This somehow is supposed to stop these from coming off of here just by sheer luck, I guess. Sheer size. I'm just wanting to get that in there tight enough. Oh, those aren't in there far enough. You can see that one's not in there far enough. Yep. He is actually quite a bit longer than these other two guys. We're going to test just the function of it all. I really don't see a lot of wobble in that, so I'm not too concerned with that. Hey, at least we got these fitting. That being said, this is apparently not 30 millimeters.
So what I've noticed is, probably due to my resize and using a thinner wood, these posts, when put all the way flush down to the table surface, are still too tall for these teeth to grab. I mean, the gear is supposed to fit almost flush up against this, like so. So what we're going to have to do is either cut new ones of these the right length, or due to the fact that I'm looking at the plans, and the plans don't show anybody behind this gear at all. So I can just push those all the way through to where they're kind of hanging out there. I don't think they're going to encounter anybody. That'll save me from having to cut them again. So we'll just punch them through. Okay, so far so good. We have quite a bit of wobble in this one. So the easiest thing to do is use the epoxy, or just get the wobble out. Okay, because, you know, typically what you're going to do to get wobble out of something is, obviously we're going to pull this back here. Just about got most of it out right there. Yeah, working on it. So I took and I simply pushed these pins back into the wood as far as they were likely to go. I can't really, there. You can see how far out of the back of it they're coming, because there's nothing back there. So that allows this gear to go back on top of. If we get them all set here. Gotta get them set right. There it is. It's amazing. Aha. Click. You heard the click. Alright. So, with it in place like that, you can see how the back of it operates. Now I can't move it. One of these guys will always be there to hold that gear in place. Now to wind it, and then the drive wheel works. It's complicated. It certainly is. We do have our little spacer installed now. I did do this reinforcement, so we'll find out. I assume they don't want you to glue this until you have it all set in the cabinet properly. And yeah, these will eventually be doing this. So 2 down. We have wheel number 1, wheel number 2. This is technically the drive wheel with all of its complicated ratchetry in there. Weight pulley cable coming down. Second wheel. Let's get that third wheel done. The third wheel is technically known as the there he is. That's your third wheel, and it's your escape wheel. It's the weird looking one. Now it actually has 2 other gears, but that's the 3 of the tri-wheel. Okay, I've got the new shaft that is actually 105 and not 115. There actually is 115, but I assumed for some reason that there were actually two of them, and that wasn't right. So we're ready to rock on that one. This is the 115 one. And what we have to do is simply take our escape wheel, our wheel number 3, which is this one, and this is the way it goes. It goes this way, not this way, which is good because it's dirty. Now, it does show the escape wheel has 12 millimeters sticking out its keister, so 12 millimeters is not very much at all. 12 millimeters, let's do it accurately this time, is right there. Wow, I bullseyed that. So. Yeah, 12 millimeters. Bullseye. So, what now, you say? Well, the same as before. We have our 2 gears, which are little drive gears, and they go on this side. And we have another one of our friends, which goes here. It seems like it's too big. It has got to be too big.